10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm on a boat No, I'm not. I am in my shop. I am ready for the Power Hour. Don't know about you. Sucks that I'm not in Pomona, but guess what? Vegas is coming up really soon. There's a lot of drag racing to talk about. And me and my favorite ginger friend, the Amish guy, we're going to yak it up. I'm Slammin' Sam. And this next face you're going to see is the Monday morning racer, Lee.
Hi.
Pratt. How's it going, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great. We got a lot of drag racing to talk about later on. Third time's a charm. Alexis DeJoria on the show, and Dell Worsham. Dell Worsham is on. Really cannot wait to talk to Dell Worsham. I mean, what a wealth of drag racing knowledge, experience. Been on fire a lot. Yeah, it's going to be a good time to talk to him for sure.
Oh man. All the stuff that we can definitely go down and yak it up about, that's a good thing, you know. And to everybody out there, guys, podcast, you can listen to this on the podcast form. Email us these questions. I get a lot of messages from people. Hey, you should ask this, or hey, you should talk about that. Become interactive with us. Email us those questions. It's powerhourcp@gmail.com. It's simple. powerhourcp@gmail.com. Email us those questions, and then we can get them out to Jeff. We can answer them. But you guys, what is there to talk about? Who's in the comment section? I'm ready to rock and roll. What do you got for me, Lee?
Hey, look, let's start with this. The greatest holiday for pranksters, April 1st. Everybody out there, dude, what was your best April Fool's joke in the world of drag racing? You, before we went on air, mentioned one that I got excited about. I was like, nah, this can't be true. But it was a good one. Talk to us about it.
If it would be true about the Coletta team and the DSR team racing each other and winner take all, honestly, that's the kind of stuff that we've been talking about, Lee. And even if it's an April Fool's joke, I really think we need to see that. The people want that. Why not? We get it. It'll never be winner take all, but let's just do it for the fun. 4 wide Vegas, put them down. I'll be there. You'll be there. We'll be able to get it, put it out on live. Everyone wins. Everyone wins.
Right. Look, maybe it's not in the funny cars with Don and Connie at their age and they haven't piloted one for so long. Granted, those cars were sick looking. I want those wraps. At some point in a throwback race, I want those wraps. But man, let's get Don and Connie out in some golf carts or something. Come on, let's do it. Rent
a Corvette and rent a Mustang, or let's just have fun with it. But I want to see those two cars parked right next to the side of Alex Laughlin in the In-N-Out car. I'm sorry, Lee, I know you're gonna, you want the throwback, but there's something about that In-N-Out. I keep mentioning it because every time I see a picture, it excites me. It's just,
man, hey, Alex could do a very cool In-N-Out burger throwback with Del Poldy and the Over the Hill gang with the In-N-Out configuration they had. He certainly could pull that off. That would look pretty cool.
That'd be pretty badass.
Look, let me say this before we go on, man. Let me say this. You out there in the chat, look, type in throwback if you think the NHRA should have a throwback weekend like NASCAR has been doing. NASCAR's been doing it for several years now. It's been a huge success. I think drag racing has better schemes, far better looks. We need a true throwback weekend. Top Fuel, Funny Car, Pro Stock. Heck, let's see it all down through the alcohol ranks too. Let's do it. Let's have it, man. We need a throwback weekend.
I like that. I like to see a Kellogg's car, Captain Crunch car. Man, there's some good ones. There's a lot of good ones out there that you could that you could see. Oh man, and you mentioned it. NASCAR does it. I'm gonna get away from motorsports, but even hockey does it. Football does it. Everyone does this throwback theme. So why are we not? And I hate to say this. Why are we not jumping on the bandwagon of doing these things? There's a reason people like the old school jerseys and dressing up like, Saved by the Bell for a weekend and coming to the track and maybe bringing the cars up with a half-ton pickup or something like that. It'd be cool, even the dress up, not just on Halloween. I want to see more of it. I mean, I know how you feel about, Bull Force 1 during Halloween, but there's a lot of good throwback schemes that we could see, and I think that'll be good. But yeah, man, we're not going to just talk about that.
There was a ton of excitement around what Steve Torrance did at last year's Gator Nationals with that Don Garlett's throwback. Definitely, man, there's so many good ones. I mean, a Bob Glidden throwback to the 7-Eleven era. I mean, I would love to see that. That would be cool to see. Why not a throwback with Candies and Hughes and Tom McEwen? I mean, go back to the blue Top Fuel dragster. Why not do that? I mean, there's so much they could do. So much they could do.
So we got racing coming up this weekend and a banquet for all you PDRA fans out there. Banquet's going to be Thursday night?
Yes, Thursday night.
And there's going to be some heavy hitters. I mean, if, a past guest, Johnny Placino, he's going out there. The Carusos are maybe they're going to have that new car hopefully buttoned up, as I was kind of watching some of their show before, and I think what they're doing with having, Nate on and, kind of just pre-predictions of what races are coming up and talking about winners and different things like that. I think that's going to be cool. Todd Tutterow is going to have a car out there. They're changing it up a little bit. So I think there's a lot that we're going to see out of Galot. And I'm excited for this weekend of racing.
Yeah, man. Galot Motorsports Park, that's where it's going to be happening this weekend for the season opener of the PDRA.
Do you know what Galot stands for?
Yes, I do. But before we let everybody know, put it in the chat. Do you know what Galot stands for? Hint,
so we'll
it
come
has
back to
something
that then.
to do with concrete. Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine that.
So we'll stop talking about that. Okay, we're going to talk about some. People are seeing the hat. I totally didn't even think about this until I looked at the hat and looked down in the chat there. We talked about this guy a couple of weeks ago. Mr. Stevie Fast Jackson. Mr. Break the Internet. And I'm going to quote the words that you said, Mr. Not So Quick. Well,
at NHRA.
Shit. Okay. There you go. Well, shit. He did it.
He
back
did
on
it.
The throne.
He's back on the throne.
On the throne. Hey.
Back on the throne. Stevie throws down and says, I'm not
back
done.
Up what he talks. Yeah.
And look,
haters, I'm still here.
With all the photos that have gone out, it's like, hey, what are you going to come back with at the next Pro Mod NHRA drag race? Maybe this was just a warm-up for Stevie, kind of getting back in the groove a little bit. Maybe it was throwing a couple of soft pitches and letting the field think they got him. Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, like I said, the Shark Tank is wide open. And that man has proven himself time in and time. And I can keep going. You can just see the little dots keep going there. But he's proven himself every time. So steps up, rough shake at the beginning, but boom. Give me my gold shoes. Give me my crown. Give me my seat and respect my name. But
that's right. Hey,
along with that,
before you go on, look, let's say congratulations to Steve Jackson, Mo Hall, and Shane and Gary White as well for their wins down there at Sweet 16. Great job, guys.
Yes. And before I go too far, I also want to mention, I think what, Duck X Promotion, the people out there don't like him, but what he did to celebrate the life of Blake, I thought that was phenomenal. To celebrate one of his own racers, a guy who's there at his event, who people, from the radio racing community love and respect. Some, say that Donald doesn't have a heart. He's careless. He says what's on his mind. But what he did to take an event and celebrate one of his own racers and the community racers' life, I really appreciate that. To the family, we're still praying for you. And to the community, I mean, we lost a good racer. We lost a good human being. But I honestly do want to take a second just to say I think what they did there was phenomenal. So I'll end that one with that. But Lee, with that said, I think we're going to an era of flying cars. We talked about this before. What do we need to do to settle these damn cars down? Like, it's becoming a air flight show, pretty much.
Yes, I mean, you almost need to be cleared for taxi at those events. I cannot help but at this point now, I'm not saying before these events whether someone's going to break a record. That almost seems to happen every time. Kudos to
it's
those
going to happen.
that set records like Mr. Ferris, you know, and breaking into barriers. But I'm not saying, oh, who's going to break a record? I'm saying now who's going to take flight first. Like, I'm sure they're having that in the books somewhere in Las Vegas, like who takes flight first, and people are putting money on it. And I think there is a issue there, certainly. Then, look, I understand there is a mystique to not having wheelie bars. Understand that. But you cannot tell me that there's not something aerodynamically that they could do. And I've heard there's things they can do in the shocks as well. I don't know what it is. I'm not that guy, but I am the guy saying I'm concerned for these drivers. It's only a matter of time until something serious does happen. I know it's their lives. I know it's their cars. I know it's their money. Let them do what they want. There's that argument. But let me say this. Sometimes racers are their own worst enemy. And we might be coming into that situation for all that I know. It has got to a point where it's a matter of like when, not if, but when does it happen?
So I'm going to say this. Maybe that's why Stevie Fast Jackson didn't come to the Door Slammers, because he was getting his pilot's license. See what I did there? But he did get his pilot's license. And then he goes to Sweet 16 and wins. I mean, I don't know. Are guys going to have to get their pilot's license to go down to South Georgia? I mean, and I get it. They say it, home of the flying cars, but we got to change that name. I mean, too much carnage, too much I would hate to toe the bills of some of those cars losing the roof off. I don't know if you saw the video, Lee. The guy lost the roof off of his car. Like, I don't know. Turned his car into a convertible. It's unreal.
I did see that. That's a new one on me. I've seen funny cars go convertible, but a door slammer go convertible. That personally is a new one on me. I've seen door cars go tricycle. I've seen door cars blow up, but yeah, to go convertible, that is a new one. That is a new one. And not, be prepared, brought to the track that way. But hey, maybe that's a new class. Maybe radial convertible.
No, not safe at all. I don't know. Can't agree with you there. But it looks like a few people looking at the comments, not to change the subject there, but we've got Charles that says, get a load of this. We got the limo guy, the legend, the limo guy. Guys, if you're not following him, you need to go and follow him. Real Pro Stock. That guy's got 30-minute shows put together. Real Pro Stock. Go follow that. You want all the PDRA and Pro Stock news, Real Pro Stock? Scott, the limo guy. Follow that. Lee, you had a good show last week. You got another good show probably coming up. Who do you got going on your show?
The plan is right now for Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Rob Honeycutt from the Pro Nitrous ranks of the PDRA. Oh, he also happens to ride a motorcycle as well. So we plan on having him. Now, look, Real Pro Stock.
No motorcycle talk with you. Who knows if Mike Ashley is going to be in the comments tonight?
He might just be. Real Pro Stock. I've got to ask, what did happen to Elijah Morton? I haven't seen any info. So if you would put in the comments section what actually did happen with Elijah Morton and getting that new front end. Would like to know that. Yes, Galat. Get a load of this. That's what it stands for, folks. So it's get a load of this Motorsports. And frankly, a lot of people have had to do a lot of get a loading of this when they go out there and perform in their Pro Charger combinations, certainly. Sam.
Yeah. What's up? Is Jeff ready to come on or what?
Are you ready to bring the jeweler on?
I don't see. Okay, this is my problem right now with the jeweler. Okay. I'm going to be in California next week because I'm going to Vegas. So I'm going to California for a little bit because I kind of planned it around going to Pomona. But as we know, Pomona is postponed. So I'm kind of wondering, will the jeweler, like, invite me over? I always see this nice place he stays at, cigars and stuff. Maybe I should go to his place to do the show next week.
Maybe
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I don't know. Well, look, let's figure that out and bring him on right now. Folks, get the Competition Plus apparel. Get that swag. Put the bling bling on. Hear about it now.
Get your CompetitionPlus.com apparel today. Whether it's our nitro-burning funny car design or the vibrant door slammer design, we have the swag to show you are always in the know. Get yourself a hat too. And we know not everyone enjoys wearing a mask, but if you must wear one, at least wear a good-looking one. Check out the new CompetitionPlusApparel.com for the latest from the place where you have trusted for your news on the internet for over 2 decades.
All right, Jeff, is Sam invited?
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yes, that was easy.
There you go.
Sorry, Lee. Sorry.
Lee, you're not invited, but Sam can come over anytime he wants.
I get it. I get it. Hey,
it's because I'm close. It's because I'm closer to Canada, so he likes me. Speaking of that, I'm going to ask this question. And this is kind of off topic, but it's a question for you, Jeff. We've opened the southern border. Can we open the northern border? Because I need some good Canadian chocolate milk and Oreos. I'm sorry. So, I mean, can you work this out a little bit here? Something. Open the northern border. That's all I'm saying. Done.
I wish I had that pull. So, I got some friends that live up in Canada, and not that I'm a huge Tucker Carlson fan, but somebody said, hey, watch this show on what they got to go through up there. And it's like, before you leave Canada, you got to go like 3 days before and get your negative COVID test, and then you can fly and leave. When you come back to Canada, you get tested again. Even if you're negative, you have to stay in a Canadian-run, like, qualified place. It's minimum $1,000 for 3 nights. My friends are telling me it's like $2,000 for 3 nights. And Lord help you if you get tested positive. So,
I literally
crazy.
I was talking to a friend today that lives in Manitoba and one that lives in Saskatchewan. And they're like, yeah, it's pretty much you come back and have to stay in like a small concentration camp. Sorry for using those words, but I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's like, this is unreal. Okay, we're going to talk drag racing.
All right. But that's
well, speaking of drag racing, I know you're talking about, COVID, but the poor people in Canada right now involving motorsports, they didn't make the cut for holding those events. Apparently golf did, but the tracks are shut down.
Yeah, there's just some like weird stuff going on. I mean, I'm not going to get political or nothing, but a lot of things don't make a lot of sense. I flew to Gainesville like a few weeks ago, right, with the Duns. So we flew the red-eye flight at LAX. So when you're standing in line, you got to, social distance, all that stuff, wear a mask, which I'm okay with wearing a mask. You got to wear one. But then you get on the airplane and they were like totally packed the whole time. You're sitting like, 3 inches from the next guy next to you and someone else. And they've already kind of said the mask doesn't really keep you from getting it. It kind of maybe keeps you from spreading it a little bit. There's a percentage there, but it didn't make much sense. And then we go to deplane and they're like, all right, we're going to do something different. Like the front people get off first and you can't get up until the guys in front of you are up. I'm like, I said something out loud. I go, I've been sitting next to these guys like for the last, few hours on this airplane. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm okay if things make sense, but a lot of this COVID stuff does not make any sense. It's definitely a real deal. I mean, we all know people that have been affected by it, but there are just some crazy rules out there. And my friends in Canada, I mean, they're locked down way worse than we are. And the Russos, who I drive for, they're in Australia, and they got some crazy lockdowns there. I mean, there were some fines there. They said at one time, if you got caught more than like 5 kilometers, which is like 3 miles from your place in a car, you got like a $1,500 fine, whether you're like wearing a mask or not. So I just hope that Canada and Australia gets opened back up. There's lots of cool racers from both places, and they need to be here enjoying themselves in the States and seeing some NHRA drag racing for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a guy in the comments right here. He says he lives 5 minutes from Buffalo, New York, and it took him 18 months to get his dragster home from Ohio. Like, unbelievable.
Yep.
Like, I don't get it. Like, I get it. I get the rules, but it's like, can we not go racing? Can we not, like, I miss my Canadian race friends. I'm sorry.
For sure.
Hey.
And then I've heard some stories you can drive across the border and you don't have any like real problems, but flying is like definitely a big no-no. And when I flew all last year at all these races, there was never someone with a temperature gun that checked your temperature. I mean, I go to the doctor, you go to the dentist. As soon as you walk in, they got the gun, they check you. Never at an airport in like the 13 or 14 times I flew last year did anybody ever check you with a temperature gun. Crazy.
I know. Keith up there in Buffalo, Empire or Lancaster? Put in the chat. Which one, man?
Nice. See what you did there.
So
what are your predictions? What are your predictions for the 4 wides? And like, give us, I mean, 4 wide. Does it change things up for people? You know, having 2 extra cars there. What are your ideas on that?
So there's a few things when it comes to 4 wide. So I kind of studied it because I was there when the first ones happened. So a lot of people get, and these are like professional racers, get a little confused sometimes with the staging and the pre-staging and the staging lights. And it's because if you're in like lane 2 or lane 3, you have to look at the opposite side of the tree to see if you're pre-staging or staging, which if you didn't go up there and watch a few pairs run just to kind of get the idea, seems to confuse even some really good racers out there. So I kind of liked it. I thought maybe I had a little bit of an advantage there. And qualifying, not really a big deal, but on race day, because the 2 quickest cars go to the next round, if you're racing somebody and, you know, you're behind, generally speaking, if you're just 2 wide, you would just lift if the guy was like, you know, at half track and you smoke the tires. But in 4 wide, you don't know what's going on, so you got to keep going. And if you go back to Charlotte, like a long time ago when I was racing the DHL car, you know, Robert and I were in lanes 1 and 2. And I pedaled like 3 times because I didn't know what was going on. And he pedaled a few times and he ended up running into me at the finish line. And it was like, you just can't see, you know, the cars in lane 3 and 4. So you have to do whatever you have to get to the finish line. And as a driver, I think it's kind of cool because you're doing stuff you generally wouldn't do. And, you know, from a fan point of view, you get to see some crazy stuff going on the track. I guess the only downside to it is like 4 cars run at one time. So a qualifying session is a lot shorter. But let me tell you, the noise and the nitro fumes up on the starting line is crazy because if you're sitting in the car, one quad back, I guess you would call it, and the other 4 cars take off, it is loud and it's really cool. I kind of like it. I don't mind it happen a couple of times a year. I think they made the right decision by not having it in the countdown or the playoffs, but it's something I think everybody's got to go there and see.
Well, Jeff, look, thank you for the perspective on it. I have not yet experienced 4 wide. I've kept I've tried to stay neutral on it. Always in the comments section on my channel, Monday Morning Racer, people are, oh, I love it. Oh, I hate it. And I'm like, guys, I don't know. I don't know yet. It is awkward with TV. I will say that. But like you, as a competitor, actually behind the wheel, it seems like it's mostly positive. With the racing the way it is, but I don't think we ever do need to do the 6 wide as the great April Fool's joke a couple of years ago.
No.
Yeah. No. I think I'd pass on that one.
Definitely.
That's just way too much going on.
Yes. Way too much.
So Jeff, I don't think we've asked you this question. Maybe we have, but 8th mile racing, is it good? Is it bad? What do you think of it for the sport of drag racing?
I mean, as a racer, if you are driving a car, get paid to drive, whatever, on a team, I don't think it changes a whole bunch. I mean, you're there to try and win the race. So whether you go 8th mile or quarter mile or 1,000 feet, you've got a job to do and you got to do it. Obviously, there are some tracks where, a quarter mile is just too long if you're running, 330 miles an hour or something. There's just not enough places to slow down, not enough length there to slow down. It's not physically possible to make the shutdown area longer. But, as far from a driving perspective, 8th mile, I mean, all the good stuff happens in the first 8th mile. The cars are up to, anywhere between 275 and 285 miles an hour in a funny car, and probably 285 and 295 plus in a top fuel car. So you're definitely ripping along pretty good. And if you look at the amount of time it takes you to go from the 8th mile to 1,000 foot, it's really not all that long as far as driving it. Now, can some stuff happen in the last, few hundred feet? Sure. But, I raced quarter mile for a long time. So 1,000 feet to me kind of feels like a good test run, because there was some kind of crazy stuff that happened back in the day when you ran that last 320 feet from the 1,000 to 1,320. It was only 0.7 of a second kind of on average. But, you usually hit the rev limiter if you were on a good run. It would fall off the tire. The tires had some issues back then. So as a driver, it makes you feel a lot safer to go to 1,000 rather than 1,320. But I'm not opposed to eighth mile stuff. I think I'd like to see it still 1,000 foot in the prospective future, or in the future for NHRA. But eighth mile racing is cool. I mean, look at Funny Car Chaos. They had like a zillion funny cars there, and cars were running fast. And it was kind of unpredictable. Like the guy that you thought was going to win didn't win, but he laid down some great runs, my buddy Dell, and he had a lot of fun there, I know for sure. And, racing is racing. If you're a driver, I don't care if you're racing 100 feet or 600 feet or 1,000 feet or a mile, it doesn't make any difference.
Just drive it. There you go.
For sure. Yeah.
The biggest controversy we have right now, and Jeff Arend just smashed it. So I agree. Boom.
There you go.
Done.
There you go. Jeff, he knows all. He says all. He's the final word on drag racing matters. NHRA, call this man.
I don't know if I go that far, but I've got a lot of experience, and I've raced all different track lengths. And, there's definitely pluses and minuses to everything. Did I like quarter mile racing? What was happening? Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was so much fun to watch. Sometimes you'd be on the return road coming back at night, and the guy go whipping by you, and lay down like whatever it was back then, a 470 or something like that. And you'd go, man, that guy's crazy driving that thing, but you just got out of it yourself. So was it fun to watch? Yeah. Is the 0.7 of a second between 1,000 foot and 1,320 a huge deal to me? Not really. I mean, I guess if a spectator can see it himself, he's probably better than I am, because a lot of cars still run pretty close to that under full power. But I think the thing that probably got people kind of weirded out a little bit was that the times were better. So, if you ran a 480, that's a pretty good funny car run. Well, the 480 was a 410. So when you started seeing 410 pop on the board, you just didn't understand it as much. There are no tracks that I know of, and maybe one or two in the whole world, that have seats down by the finish line. So you could never really see who won the race anyway, because it's 300 feet away. It's a football field away from you if you have stands at 1,000 feet. So, I think in light of everything that had happened in some other tracks, it was a smart move to do. But, we go nostalgia racing, we still race a quarter mile. But when you race a quarter mile nostalgia car, you're like, wow, this is a lot longer than I remember it being.
Well, Jeff, thank you for your perspective. We're going to let you go and enjoy whatever cold beverage and hot stick you've got for the night.
I like it. And Sam, you're invited. You just you got my number to hook me up, and I'll get you over to boys' night, and we can do the show right live.
Yeah. Sorry, boss, won't be at the show next week.
That could happen.
Jeff, see you, man.
All right. See you guys.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, we're going to take a quick break with Jerry Bickle Race Cars.
In the race for quality, there is no finish line. Jerry Bickle Race Cars is a one-stop chassis shop for drag racing performance parts and race components. For over 50 years, Jerry Bickle Race Cars has been an essential part of racers' plans for building world champion race cars. Our parts department is stocked with every part a racer might need. Log on to jerrybickle.com for more information. We build anything with doors. jerrybickle.com.
Man, hey, I got to answer a question here, or something that was in the comments. Let me find it. Mr. Bill said, "Is convertibles unsafe, like Corvettes or T-tops?" I don't think they're unsafe, but when it's unplanned and that roof on that car goes flying off, yeah, I think they're unsafe. I mean, granted, there are a couple that have the full cage system in them. I'm a big safety component, as I sell race car parts myself out of one of my own businesses, Mad Bro Motorsports, shout out. But I don't see convertibles being very, very safe in the sport of drag racing. So that's just me. That's my opinion. So to answer your question there. All right, Lee, what do you got for me? What else are we going to yak it up about?
Well, dude, look.
Or are we bringing PDRA
opener this weekend, all right?
Yep.
There are some great storylines with the PDRA opener. they've introduced screw blowers into Pro Boost. So you've got a lot of screw blower guys coming in now. Todd Tutterow, you mentioned that earlier.
That makes like 4 different combinations you can have, right?
Roots, screw blower, turbo, and the centrifugal supercharger, or, well, Pro Charger, as many people want to say, or the Vortec charger as well. Yeah. Vortec is another brand. So, yes, you've got several ways of putting boost to that Pro Mod motor, and PDRA runs Pro Nitrous separately. Look, Todd Tutterow, Kurt Stedding, to me, they're the team to watch out for, I think, this year in Pro Boost. Yes, you've got the Galop Motorsports guys. They're coming back, and they are in a Pro Charger Pro Line combination. But Kurt Stedding and Todd Tutterow, they were showing some exceptional performance last year toward the end.
I agree with you, but can you really take anything away from the Pro Line, I guess, combination, the Pro Line fleet that's out there, people running that, their setups? You cannot knock anything that Pro Line is doing right now. Like, I just, hands down, you can't. Like, I don't even know the words to say.
Do not get me wrong. I don't think it's going to be a runaway show with King Tut and Kurt Stedding. Last year, mathematically, there were 5 people that could have won the PDRA Pro Boost Championship going in to the finals at Virginia Motorsports Park. I think there's going to be a similar year to that. I don't think it will be 5. It may just be between 3 cars. And then again, you do have the new combination. What will the screw blown guys be able to do? Again, we're talking about different rules than NHRA. I think that's one reason why there's a bit more of a level playing field for everyone there compared to NHRA right now. But go get Justin Bond's thoughts on that anyway, and it's going to spin you for a loop.
No. And I honestly think next week, if we could, I think we get Justin Bond and just let him talk and let him say it how it is. Because the knowledge that he dropped on the Caruso show that day was unreal. Like, so many people have all these ideas, and he comes in and he's like, boom, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be. If you want to be here, this is what you need to do. Lays it out on the line. Just saying. I don't know.
Laid it out on the line. Laid it out on the line.
And hopefully I don't swallow my words, back myself in a corner and get hollied again.
That has happened.
But that's real facts. I still have the scar to prove it. Ask Amanda Busick. Actually, I might ask her that question when I see her at Vegas. How was that moment when Sam got hollied? But I don't think it's going to be a big record year for them. I think there's going to be great runs. There's going to be leaps and bounds. You're going to see people, improve throughout the season. People that are, are starting out with these new combinations that, they're going to figure it out and learn it. But I don't foresee it being a huge record year like we're seeing in other classes and other, events happening. So that's just
you're not. I don't think you are. I don't think you're going to see records in Pro Nitrous. I don't think you're going to see records in Pro Boost. I think this is the year for someone to finally crack the 3s in Extreme Pro Stock. I think that
it's happening. Okay, here we go. This is juicy. The people of PDRA in the comments below, we want to know from you guys, who do you think the first person will be? Lee, who's your top pick?
Powers, Chris Powers.
Okay. I'm not going to say one. I've already put myself in a hole with saying this whole record year stuff, so I'm not going to jinx myself twice.
Look, Dale has a good choice here. J.R. Carr, that is a great choice.
I like that. I can agree with people on this. I can agree with someone.
So I'll bring that up. Let's what would happen if Stevie puts the shadow on big tires with the screw show up in PDRA. One, I don't know how the rules match up that way. I'm not sure. I'd have to dive into that. But hypothetically, look, I think Stevie would be competitive as long as whatever matched up, he would be competitive. He certainly would be.
I don't care if you put small tires on it. The guy is a driver. That's what it comes down to. He is not just a driver, he's an athlete.
Yes.
I mean, we've seen it from him getting into funny cars. We've seen it from him getting in anything. Like, he is an athlete. So
he's also a pro fisherman, apparently, from the video that he put out.
And he can cut down trees. Seen videos of that.
Yeah, cut down trees.
I mean,
right.
he's a pilot.
Yes.
He's a goddamn comedian.
Can do it all. Stevie can do it all.
I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know. I
do think another area within PDRA that you will see a record is Pro 632. Folks, if that class is not on your radar, sure, it's kind of like Diet Pro Mod. I get that, but it is a highly competitive class.
Diet Pro Mod. I'm out.
That's what they say.
Pause the show. Pause the show. Did you?
I just said it. Diet Pro Mod. Or no, okay, hang on. Pro Mod 0. How about that? Pro
Mod on Splenda?
Splenda. There we go. Yeah, Pro Mod on Splenda.
Wow.
But what they're getting out of a 632 cubic inch combination with great different body styles, it is a wonderful, fascinating class with interesting characters. And I think you'll see a record there again, whether mile per hour or ET.
Okay. Not to stroke ego. He may be watching. Who knows? Johnny Placino. Mr. Placina. AKA Pistachio. That's what I call him. Love you, brother.
Yes.
But hopefully he doesn't get mad at me for saying that again. But how do you think he's going to do this year? I mean, coming out on top, he's on top of the world. He's got huge target.
How do I think he will do? I believe he will be a repeat Extreme Pro Stock champion.
There you go.
I believe he will not go into the finals in Virginia, though, with a insurmountable lead. I think it will be a battle down to the bitter end, but I do think Johnny Placino in the strutmasters.com Ford Mustang with Father John Placino tuning, he will win the championship again.
I agree with you there. And the thing that I like about it, if you guys surf the good old Facebook web and go down the rabbit hole that I go down all the time, is you start scrolling, then all of a sudden you see a couple pictures. But he was there early this week. I mean, not this week, last week, testing already. Guys, already. That's what it takes. The car was ready to go. Everything was loaded up. Hey, we're going testing. That's why he's a champ. If you look at all these people, including Stevie Fast Jackson, if you look at, hands down, all of these racers that are on top of their game all the time, it's because they are testing. They don't stop. They keep continuing to try, figure out new combinations, figure out new shocks and struts and this and that. That is why they're on top, because they take the time to put in the work. The 7 Ps. Proper preparation prevents piss poor performance. And when you are out testing, guess what you're doing? Preventing piss poor performance.
There you go. Well, look, so let's change the combination on the show and let's bring on our first guest, Miss Alexis DeJoria.
Hey guys,
Alexis,
hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Man,
good to have. I came on at a commercial. Did everyone else see that, or just me?
Hey, we just showed the Guard Lab commercial. I'm curious, mouth guard or not for you when you're driving?
I love a mouth guard. Finding the right one has been kind of an issue for me. I've either had like too thick of ones, like boxing mouth guards that are just like, it's just overkill. or I've had those like really thin ones that the dentist makes that are almost like, you know, those whitening trays. And I'm just like, man, I just give me like a normal one, just something somewhere in the middle. So those actually are ones that I really want to try. But they have a special system where I guess you go in and they do like this, you know, digital, thing of your entire jaw. So I'm excited to try it out. Looks good. It definitely helps, especially when you have tire shake.
Yes.
Yeah. I've actually chipped my 2 front teeth in Sonoma from some bad tire shake, and I wasn't wearing a mouth guard. So,
yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah,
not at all. So I have to ask a personal question. As you like ink, just like I do tattoos. I call them ink.
Yes.
What is your most meaningful piece that you have?
Oh, they're all pretty meaningful. I'll just go with probably my favorite one is on my forearm. I have my cell phone, so I could show you guys. It's the F-15 Strike Eagle that I actually got to do an incentive ride in. So to commemorate that, I had my friend and incredible fine line tattoo artist Mark Mahoney at Shamrock in Hollywood. He did that piece for me, and all the guys on the squadron were like, "Man, that's really good. We should get something like that too." But that's probably my most meaningful one. So they're all meaningful. They all mean something, especially now in my life. When I was like 16 and I was getting tattoos, not so much.
That's cool. I mean, man, you got the ride and you get the tattoo. That's
yeah, exactly.
I like that. That's pretty cool. Definitely. Now, speaking of something cool, I did see you out there at Funny Car Chaos. What'd you think of the show? And were you like, man, where's my funny car?
Right. Well, I was out there supporting my crew chief, Dell Worsham. He was out there with our team and Nikki. It was such a great event. I have never been to that. I've always wanted to go. I think next year, you know, maybe I might be, I don't know, you might see me in a nostalgia car. It's definitely on the bucket list. The only thing is, I get it. It's only 8th mile, and I understand it's better all around for the racers. You get a better car count. It keeps things going a little bit quicker. It cut the costs. Less track, prep and all that kind of stuff. But we already only go 1,000 feet, so breaking it back down to 8th mile is. It's over before you get to enjoy it. But what a great event. And it was awesome to support Dell. He did a really good job. And just, getting to see a bunch of friends that I used to race with and their families come out. So it was really cool. They did that.
And that's awesome. And you speak about, your relationship with Dell. That goes back for a while. And your father. Speak on, I guess, what that relationship means to you.
Dell has been my go-to guy from day one. My mentor. I got licensed in his family's car. He's always worked with me from day one. He's believed in me. He's really had my back. No matter what. He was my first crew chief. He was my teammate for a while, which was really awesome. And now we are partners in the race team. We both own the race team together, DC Motorsports. And having him, back on tuning, it's just a dream come true. Really, I love working with Dell. I mean, he was the youngest funny car driver, licensed funny car driver in history. Just the amount of accolades that man has is just incredible. I mean, winning, championships and Top Fuel Dragster with Alan Abbey and Nitro Funny Car with Kalita DHL. It was just really great to see, everything happen so much in his life and be there on the sidelines.
All right. I know that your dad is definitely known as the savvy business tycoon, but you're a savvy business lady yourself. I remember talking to you last year that ABK Beer, you had like 1% stock in the company or something, or ownership or something,
1%.
Well,
he's a salesman. I am not. I did not get that gene. It skipped me and went to my kid. I do not have that gene whatsoever. That's why I have a helmet on and I'm in the race car.
So with the new brand of tequila, and the name fails me now, what's
Bandero.
What's that relationship like? How'd that come on board?
So myself, my sister, my brother, and a few other partners have this tequila company. It's called Bandero. It's a small batch premium tequila, award winning. It's doing really great right now. Incredible packaging, and you guys just have to try it. So we're getting better distribution right now. It's kind of hard to break into the market, obviously, with so many brands out there, but we've got a good thing going. I have a lot of faith in this company.
I looked and I was like, it's not in my area yet, so we'll keep tabs on it. We'll keep tabs on it.
Coming.
Hey, Lee, maybe there'll be some in Vegas.
Yes,
maybe.
There will be. There will be. Definitely.
Hey.
So speaking of tequila, and your recommendation on how to prepare your tequila and enjoy it the best way.
I keep it pretty basic. My dad and I both do this trick. Chilled, for sipping, stuff like that. I kind of like a silver, blue agave premium tequila like Bandero, mixed with some fresh lime juice and a little splash of like agave like syrup, just a little bit. My dad not so much. He likes the lime with the tequila on ice, and that's it. But I like a little bit of sweet with mine. And that's it. Shake it up in a shaker and pour it over ice, and salt rim or not. I think that's honestly the best way to drink it.
Woo! Again, I feel the burn already.
That's why I have to chill it. You got to chill it.
No. So speaking of the whole tequila thing, with your dad selling Patron, what is he up to now? Is there anything that he's kind of working on, or is he up?
So
buying the moon. I mean, I'm just.
Well, it's interesting. So we've all kind of gotten together. I think we're going to be like the next family of green. We've invested in major hemp farms. There's just, you can do everything with hemp, honestly. And I think it's really a good business right now. And it's self-sufficient. It's all organic. We ship, all over the place. And so we've invested in that, and also some cannabis companies, CBD and THC, vertically integrated from the moment the seed goes into the soil to, handing it over to the customer at the dispensaries. So that is our new ventures. Yes. In the last, 5 years, probably.
I like that.
Bring it is amazing what
hemp can do and be turned into.
I wish we could. There's still a lot of, that old mentality in some of the networks. They don't want to film the cars if there's anything cannabis or even, CBD related, which is ridiculous, but it is what it is. So it's gonna take a minute. But as soon as it's all clear, we would love to promote the brands on our cars.
So Alexis, I'm sure you imagine we'd eventually get to this. I saw them with my own eyeballs. You are in St. Louis last year, and you have a huge boomer.
Yes.
You get back in the car. You get back in the car. And
we won
race.
the round. I had to get back in the car.
Right, you had to get back in. We
don't have backup cars for nothing.
That's right. I'm in Enos. I'm filming in the stands, and I witnessed the worst fire I've ever seen at a drag strip, and probably one of the worst funny car fires that the NHRA has seen in a long time.
Yeah.
And I was helping Justin Ashley with social media. We're parked right there. I go look at the body. I'm like, oh my goodness. And you get back in the car. So I don't want to know necessarily how does it feel, what's it like, but where in the world do you get the mental fortitude to suck it up and have the gumption to get back in something like that?
Well, with things like that, it's almost like a blessing that we did win the round, and I did have to get back in the car. Probably the worst thing is having something catastrophic happen like that and not be able to get right back up on the horse. Like when I crashed in Englishtown when I was racing Top Alcohol Funny Car, obviously an alcohol funny car. I mean, I don't know about now if people have backups, but when I was racing, we didn't have a backup car. It was done. So I couldn't get back in the car. We had to get a whole new one built, and it took forever. And I can tell you those first runs back testing in the new car were rough. But luckily, you know, that wasn't the case here. Obviously, both of them were bad. The explosion in St. Louis was hellacious. You know, I got smacked around. I got banged pretty good. You know, anytime you hit the wall parallel is never a good day. You know, I've had concussions in the past, and it doesn't take much to kind of ring your bell after that. So luckily I was all right. We had an hour to get back in the car. We had won the round. But it's no joke, you know, lining up at the light, you got to try to black it all out and just focus on your job and you know, and just hope for the best and just get down to business, man. You can't be worrying about what if, is it going to happen again? I mean, the chances are pretty slim, but then, yeah, we go out to Ennis and hey, it's race day again. And first round, you know, I had a bad fire. We had some manufacturing issues. The company that we got our rods from, which it's fixed now, but they had to change something happened with their manufacturing, the way it was manufactured. With as much pressure as these motors go through, any little change, you're definitely going to see it. So yeah, we were having a lot of issues, and we weren't the only ones. There were some other teams, but they were dragsters. But funny car, you know, it's right there in your lap. So yeah, it was pretty brutal. I was kind of like, man, did someone put a hex on me? Because back-to-back races, like, what is going on, man? Can't it just happen during qualifying? Does it have to happen during, you know, eliminations on race day? That was just some bad luck there. But thank God for my for my fire suit, and everything worked like it was supposed to. Yeah, so here to race another day.
There you go. So you are known for showing a little bit of raw emotion, a little bit of, you know, how you feel when it comes down to that time. Yeah. I am a very big component of let's see it. How do you hold back sometimes when you do? How hard is it not just to say, look, this is how I really feel, but remember what you can and can't say?
Well, I warned them ahead of time. I said, listen, I am enraged right now. You know, just be careful. Like, I'm not going to hold back. Like, you're going to get what you're going to get. And, you know, I don't have some programmed speech to give you every time I get out of the race car. You know, you're going to get exactly what I'm thinking. You know, I've even had my sponsors say, when I raced for Patron, they were like, God, you don't have to say our name every time you get out of the car. It's blasted all over you, and it's all over the car. In the winner's circle, it's a different story. But, you know, I'm not going to pop out of the car and go, and I want to thank. No, it's, you know, it is what it is. Those cars are so crazy. 11,000 plus horsepower. Anything can happen when you have nitromethane in the tank. That's pretty much it. You know, I mean, I've gotten to the point where they go, we're live television, Alexis. I'm like, okay. Thanks for the heads up.
Well, I'm sure, knowing what little I do with Amanda Busick of her, that they some appreciate it. I'm sure they do. Some appreciate it, definitely, and we do.
Yeah.
We want it raw. We want to, you know, people. I definitely think if the sport would allow y'all's emotions to come out more and not be unbridled,
Right.
to be unbridled, that it would help further the sport down the road instead of hindering it, actually.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, it shouldn't be all cookie cutter down there. I mean, back in the day, like, crews used to get in fights with each other. if you got held out on the starting line, it was going to be, blood at the top end. So, I mean, it's I think it's going to get better. I think it will. It has to, honestly. I mean, there's some really good characters in the field, especially in funny car. It's such a competitive class. I'm so happy that I chose this one. I can't imagine racing in any other class. Yeah, funny cars where it's at. And thank God I got another funny car driver as my crew chief, because it's easier to really like come back with after a run. I have so much to say, and he knows exactly what I'm saying, and just the amount of communication we have is so incredible, and I'm just so grateful. I'm glad you guys are getting him on the show later on tonight.
Yeah, cannot wait to talk to Dell. We got a lot of questions for him. I mean, he's been around a long time, since like 16,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, and speaking of Dell, there's a Dell in the comments that has a great question. It was actually one of my questions. It says, when you left the sport, how tough was it for you, and did you always know you were coming back?
I did know I was coming back. That's why I never said retired. Me personally, everybody else said, "Oh, you're retiring." I'm like, no. But it was something very crucial at that moment. I needed to do it for my family, and my daughter had just turned 16, and I really wanted to be there for her, to teach her how to drive, and all those very crucial moments at a child's life. It's like that transition from, young girl to, almost young adult. Yeah. And I just felt like, what, I can't parent by proxy. I have to be there. I have to be there for her. And luckily I was able to do that. And I think, I've been very lucky to be able to come back in this sport and still have the support of Toyota and my teammates, the NHRA, and the fans. Really, I mean, it's been really nice to see how much they still supported me after 2 years.
So Mike Rodriguez, he's got a question concerning the competitive side of things currently with NHRA. What are your thoughts on only 2 qualifying runs? So what place does that put you in, Alexis, as a driver?
Well, our team actually is the only team that's qualified in the top 5 at the last 8 races following last year. So we've had really good success in that area where we didn't really need the extra runs, luckily. But I personally think if it was my choice, I would say definitely do Friday night qualifying, 2 runs on Saturday, race on Sunday. And they're actually doing that now this year. Last year, because of COVID and, and all that, and cutting costs down for everyone, we only, had the 2 qualifying sessions on Saturday and then running on Sunday. So they're starting to open it back up. But I kind of like that compact schedule, instead of stretching it out, from, all day, Friday to Sunday. I think Friday night qualifying sessions are great because you get the flames, coming out of the nitro pipes. It's such a badass way to do it. Yeah, so that would be my choice.
Gotcha. Hey, Sam, look, alert from the comments. The jeweler, Jeff Arend, he has a question. Yes, the jeweler. Yes, we found out that's an old nickname for him.
Nice.
We're running with it. We're bringing it back. He asked, what was your favorite win or run that you remember?
My favorite win would definitely be Indianapolis, the U.S. Nationals, the 60th anniversary. That's hands down definitely the best win. Racing with Kalita, when all the teams are standing on the starting line, watching you go and cheering for you in the mosh pit, there is nothing like that camaraderie. And I am so freaking blessed that I was able to experience that with them. My favorite run ever would probably be my quickest run the 336 miles an hour at 3.86 seconds.
That's not fast at all. No, no.
And 1,000 feet too. It's pretty.
Yeah. Wow.
It's getting it. Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of fast here, there's a 67 Chevelle. Hopefully you still have that.
Oh yeah.
How fast were you actually going that day?
They're going to bury me in that car. I'm never selling it. It's never going away. I've had that car since I was 17, and it's been through a couple builds. Now it's like Barrett Jackson quality. It's so nice. In that car, I've been about 160. Like I've never taken it on a racetrack. You know, when I was younger and stupid, I used to street race with my friends, but you know, I don't live like that anymore. We do it for real. We do it on the track and it's safe. But I've been pretty fast in street cars before. I went 200 miles an hour my dad had a Vector, and I was 16, and I helped him drive it from California to Vegas. And I don't think he realized when he said, you know, oh, you can pass this car, you know, step on it, give it a little gas. I don't think he realized what he was asking, what he was in store for. But he quickly, you know, flipped out and was like, oh my God, what are you doing? But that's it.
You know,
I like that little call out there she had. We do it for real, not on the street.
Real, not on the street.
You know, you mentioning your dad in that moment of giving it a little bit of gas. What did he think? What did the rest of the family think when you're like, hey, I want to go nitro methane funny car drag racing?
It just wasn't, you know, what everybody was doing. Everyone in my family works for the company, the family business, Paul Mitchell. It's just the natural progression of things. And I did do that, and I wanted to. But at the end of the day, my passion was racing. I grew up loving motorsports, loving fast cars, motorcycles, all that. And that's really what I wanted to do. And my dad, you know, always taught us growing up, you know, find something that you're passionate about and make that your profession. And that's what I wanted to do. And I went out there and I proved myself. I didn't have anyone in my family that ever raced professionally. So I was kind of, you know, I just came out of left field and he said, I want to go fast. I want to race. So I worked my way up. I took my savings and I went to Frank Hawley's drag racing school and got licensed and got an old super gas car and started racing that and flipped it switched it out, not flipped it. Switched it out, got a super comp car, did really good in that. Within 5 months, I had gone to 2 finals and won a Sportsman National event and then made the jump to Top Alcohol Funny Car, which was definitely a bit of a challenge. I had never driven anything like that in my life. Not many people do. It was like a big transition going from super comp to Top Alcohol Funny Car. But towards probably the last couple years that I was in that class, I started doing really, really well. And as soon as I had won in that class, like my biggest thing was winning in every class before I moved up, because ultimately my goal was Nitro Funny Car. From day one, when I was 16, sitting in the stands in Pomona, I was like, that's the car I'm going to drive one day. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. And just worked my way up. And I feel like I earned my right to be there by going through the trenches and learning about the sport from the ground up.
Sam, she mentioned Frank. Don't get scared.
I did hide. As soon as I heard Frank Hawley, I hid. Like, you don't understand.
It's experience.
It was a glorious experience.
He's very
on the show. It was awesome.
He's very intimidating.
No. Let me clear the air here. So I predicted. I can't even say I predicted. I stepped on my own foot like twice, and I mentioned the smoke potentially getting into a car and racing because I had seen some stuff on the internet. That's why you go to Competition Plus, because this is the stuff that you can believe.
Did you say
so
that?
I kind of was like, I did. So
That's not good.
I was like, so
it's not good.
I heard, or word on the street.
Word on the street, Frank.
Yeah, is that the smoke may potentially get into a car, and he's like, so what car are you talking about? And I'm like, I don't know, but there's word on the street.
Were you scared of the smoke?
No, I was.
Oh no,
I didn't expect that out of Frank Holly. So now Lee and I are trying to figure out this whole scheme of how we're gonna get that clip. I've made posts about it. I want a shirt that says, "Did someone say Frank Holly?" And it's got a picture of me like, and yeah. So
wide-eyed.
Yeah. Even Jeff is in here. Look, that was funny AF. Like,
yep.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, I still have the scar to prove it. If you go back and listen to it, it's about I could pull up the clip and I have it. It's pretty good.
I believe
Amanda's
you.
face.
I believe you.
Amanda Busick's face. She's like, "Ooh, dude, you're on your own. You're on your own." So it was a good moment.
Yep, I could not save you on that one, buddy. I could not save you.
No.
So look, Alexis, last question I've got for you before we let you go and bring Dell on. Are you over the pipes bursting in Texas? Everything good there? Moving forward?
Yes, I finally got heat a few weeks ago, so that was good. I didn't have power for a week. Didn't have water. Both my hot water heaters had burst because they're on the outside because it's Texas, because no one thinks it's ever going to get that cold, right? And then when we did get water back, it was contaminated. So it was a hot mess, and that's all done now, thank God. But we are prepared. That is not going to happen again. I guarantee you.
And even the jewelers back in the comment, you got schooled by Holly and didn't even drive.
Oh no. She's never gonna let that down.
No, yeah, it's one of those moments. I'll hang it up on my wall to remember it. But no, it's good. You did have to go through that there in Texas. I think that was kind of a learning lesson for a lot of even family down there. But before you go, any good stuff on Dale that you can tell us before we bring him on?
How can I? Oh gosh, I don't even know where to start. He's awesome, man. He has so much energy. It's actually kind of funny because him and Nikki Bonifane, they kind of balance each other out. So Dell's like got super energy, like, he's just like back and forth and with the car and just constantly. And Nikki's more like he's hanging out in the crew chief lounge, and there's a lot of air conditioning in there, and he's nice and cozy. He comes out every once in a while, definitely when the car's gonna go, but it's hard to drag him out of there. But the two of them really complement each other. So I'd ask him about that, about him and their dueling personalities. They get along pretty well now.
There we go. Well, look, Alexis, great to finally have you on. One of the cool kids on the show tonight, Sam.
Yes, definitely cooler than you or I. We will see her in very, very soon, and maybe
you guys go to Vegas?
Sample.
I'll be in Vegas. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
So we will get a sample of the tequila.
Bandero Tequila. It's
have
delicious.
Some water. Just have some water for me.
I'll have a chaser for you. I'll have an ABK beer chaser for you.
There we go. Alexis, look, thank you. We're going to bring Dell on.
Right on. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Yep.
Let's see.
Man,
What
Lee,
break should we take? Yes, let's take this break right now, Sam, and we'll bring Dell right on.
All right.
On the street, in the water, or at the track. If you drive it, we can fuel it.
And we do have Dale, but he happened to step away. Dale, it's okay. Whenever you get back, we've got questions loaded for you. Let's take a look at look at the curtains. Look at the curtains, though.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
like, that's back. A nice view.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, we can.
I can't hear you guys. The sound's really, really bad here. I tried to get my laptop going and it just gave me nothing but static here, and I can't see, so I have to wear my glasses right now. But try and talk to me again. I'm having a problem hearing you guys.
Dale, can you hear us?
Damn.
No.
How about you, Sam? Can you hear me?
He might have to sign out and sign back in.
Yeah, live Dale, try going out. Try going out and try coming back in.
Okay, yeah. Let me try again. I'll log right back on.
Cool. And I just kicked Dale. So sad.
Hey, but that was a nice view. Sun was shining. Like the perfect.
Yeah, looked great. It looked great. Dale, great seeing you. Vado, we got to ask him about that. Miss you and Nikki. See y'all in commerce from Mike. Folks will definitely let him know. Yes, going bracket racing, headphones. Yeah, he might need headphones. That may be what he needs.
Did you see that he was trying to get Alexis to drive his S10? Did you see that in the comments? He said, "Hey, you're in Texas. You can come and drive my S10."
Hey, yeah, right there. Look at that. Drive my S10. Look, yeah. Hey, I think she'd do it. I think she'd do just about anything.
She'd probably make it go faster than he's ever had it. Throwing a little dirt. Throwing a little dirt out there in the comment section because all the,
some shade right there. Some shade right there. All right, we're going to bring Dale back in and see if he can. Well, can you hear us now? Dale.
I can't hear you guys at all. Let me log out one more time and try putting earbuds. I said try earbuds and maybe that'll help you.
Yes, sir. Guys. Technical difficulties tonight. It does happen.
That's the joy of live feed. The joy of live feeds.
It happens. It happens. That's why we're here, though, Sam. Clicking buttons. Hey, we can yak it up. Lee. Earbuds, headphones. Yeah.
Lee. Hey, I have got some great news for you.
Tell me.
Great news. And it's not that I saved a bunch of money on my car insurance. But, so, on my show last week, I had one of the local wingless sprint car drivers. On my show, we were talking everything wingless sprint cars and everything like that. But guess now who has the opportunity to sit in a wingless sprint car and take it for a couple of laps? So GoPro mounted, facing me, one on the track, video coming soon. And this is something, Lee, that I think you and I both should do. We should try and get video footage of us behind the wheel. A lot of people don't know. I do drive a car myself. I'm a racer. So when I speak of this, it's not just my personal opinions, what I read and different things like that, and knowledge of this. I actually do wheel a hot rod. So I think it'll be cool, just like you want to get on, a couple of things. So show these people, hey, we are out here doing this. We experience it, and this is what we do. So on my show, In the Groove podcast, Slammin Sam on Facebook, Outlaw Performance ENT on all social media platforms. You can check it out. But there is going to be a moment where Slammin Sam is going to be in a wingless sprint car. I think that's going to be pretty damn exciting. I'm excited, dude.
Dude, that is exciting. And it's non-winged. Like, non-winged is a whole nother level. It is, man, non-winged. It takes some guts.
I know
it's some guts, man. Yeah. You got some guts.
I know it's not drag racing, but
I love me some dirt. Love me some non-winged. Let's try Dale one more time. Dale, can you hear us now?
I don't think you can hear us. Man. It just has this real bad echoing, and I can't hear a word you're saying. Let me give one more. Do you guys have like 2 more minutes? We go try something.
Yeah, you're good, Dale. Go do it. Go do it, man. Go do it.
Technical difficulties.
I have never kicked a guest from the studio that much. It's amazing.
Hey, but if this was a car, he'd be able to figure it out.
He would.
The challenges in life. Life may throw you something, may give you an iPhone. You can't hear us. That's okay. Hey, and if it doesn't work out, maybe we just talk to him when we're in Vegas and we do a
We can do that
at the Strip.
We can do that. This last time we can talk to him.
we just got to make sure it's okay with him, but we're pretty much saying it's okay, that we're going to get like a 20-30 minute, me and you yakking it up with them at the strip if this doesn't work.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
We've settled it now. It's locked in. Yep.
Okay, guys, in the comment section, I kind of want to know from you guys, we know that Lee is getting on a Harley, which I think is outright ridiculous. I would never do it, so kudos to him. I'm potentially going to be in a sprint car, wingless sprint car. What other events, venues, motorsport stuff would you guys like to see Lee and I maybe indulge in a little bit? Supposedly we're supposed to go to Frank Hawley's drag school and do that. So what else should we do and bring it to the Competition Plus Power Hour to give you guys some knowledge about this stuff?
Well, I know I still want the tricycle showdown. We need to figure that out.
We got to do that at a smaller race. We can't do that at a big race.
Yeah, we got to figure it out.
I think we should do like a nitro. No, not a nitro. We should do nitrous.
Elon says drag boats. Dude, I
used to have they're called jet boats, but like a Tahiti jet boat. I used to have one of those with a big block Ford in it because you guys know how much I love my Ford. But I sold it because drag race and shit, you know? That kind of happens. Try flying suits, Dale says.
Hey, Dale, look, this is, I want, like, you're the flying squirrel. That looks like so much fun. Like, you don't have to go that close to the mountain where you're almost hitting it. But like, you're the flying squirrel.
Lee, you can't be the flying squirrel, man.
I know.
Like, I'm sorry.
I would have to have extra webbing on my suit. I understand. I get it.
I would like to do that too. I don't know, like, who would jump out. What motorsports person would jump out of a plane with us?
Alexis would. I think she would do that. She would jump out of a plane. I believe she'd do that. I think Stevie would do something like that. Yes,
he would fly the plane.
That's true. No. We need to get Mark Caruso to fly it. Stevie can jump out of it.
All right, I'm down. I want to do it.
Hey,
oh my God,
Keith, nitrous golf carts at Norwalk. Heads up, 3:30. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
So down. Like, these are good ideas. Oh, did you see what Elon just said?
Yeah,
sorry.
Elon's. Yeah. Don't hate. Don't hate.
Hey, man, everybody's got to be somebody.
Right.
And everybody can't be the flying squirrel.
No, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Sometimes you need the flying panda.
Right. Sometimes you do. Yes. You need the flying panda.
So,
yes.
I don't know. I honestly think that'd be a good one. I think that's what we should do. Doug
Coletta could fly us, as Don Moore has stated. He could fly us. So for me, Sam, I raced junior dragsters when I was a teenager and a teenager. And I also raced a mini sprint for a brief time. I would love to be back in a car competitively. And if I can figure out how to do this deal with Mike Ashley and that open up a door to be competitive again in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I'd do it. The way in which things have worked out for me, I've just never had a car, never quite have had the funds to go out there and race, even a bracket program. But I'm seriously considering doing the Brent Kepner thing and taking my rental to the local drag strip that's not got the big show and putting it in the beams.
And Lee put it in the beams. Sorry, I love doing that one, the Smoky Burnout. Even the Allen, and he goes to the top. I mean, there's just a few of them that I really, 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 really like.
Yep. Right down Broadway.
I mean, it's one of those things. So I see we're still having problems with Dale coming on. Yes. So, I mean, hey, that's a part of live show, guys. We yak it out when we try to make it work. But Elon did say that he could make, in the comments there, he did say he can make it work for us to get, maybe, a 20-30 minute segment with him with Dale from Vegas. So, hey guys, I'm just going to say it's kind of not working out right now. So let's just stay tuned to that. That'll be good. We'll be down at the racetrack. Maybe we can bring you guys some insights, some real scoop, the dirt. It won't be the power hour, but it will be some dirt on the Competition Plus page from the track. And that's the, part of being on a live show. Right, Lee?
That's right. Hey, going live, you never know what might happen. I know I had one guest in miscommunication not show up, period. And I do my show by myself. It can be challenging in those situations. Well, man, look, my show, Thursday, 8 p.m., Rob Honeycutt, Pro Nitrous PDRA, also does some bike racing from time to time. He's known as the Superman. I'm going to have him on. And folks out there in the drag racing world, I want you to know we're working on some things to bring you that much more coverage from the drag racing world. And Sam, someone did just pop into the studio.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if it happens. Okay. Let's see if it happens.
Cross your fingers.
I have not got an image yet. We're waiting.
Okay, but you bring... Oh.
Can you hear us, Dale?
I'm trying.
He's trying. He's trying. I'm going to drop him back out, and we'll keep yakking. And
so what were you saying? You're bringing more great news. Is there something that I don't even know about?
There's something in the works. Something is in the works. And it's something, far as I understand, drag racing has not had whatsoever at any time.
I don't like not knowing your secret. We're supposed to be best friends.
Well,
anywho, but my show, hey, we're going to talk to some local drag racers, some local outlaw racers here soon. Like I said, we're going to be in Vegas. So if anyone needs any media work or anything like that, you can hit me up. I'm Slammin Sam at Outlaw Performance ENT. You can hit me up. In the Groove podcast, please check that out because, we yak it up about all kind of racings. And guys and girls out there, you can listen to these podcasts back. The Competition Plus Power Hour. It is on all your major podcast forms. So get over there, listen to it. Send us emails, people you guys want to see on the show, things you guys want us to talk about. That is powerhourcp@gmail.com. We check that. We interact with you guys on there, and we'll bring your questions out front. Bobby Ben. As always, we will continue yakking up, talking everything racing. Lee, is there any more information with?
We just had Dale drop out again, so I think we can go ahead and say we're going to have to catch up with him another time. Thank you, Dale, for trying to get on the show. We'll catch you another time. Great to finally have Alexis on, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was awesome, just digging in, showing, like you said, showing true emotion, asking those questions, the questions from you guys, getting to know about the, endeavors that they're going on, the things that they're doing as a family. And I think this was kind of miscrewed by the way I said it, is bring it into the sport. When they were talking about the cannabis and all that, you see Leah Pruitt, she has it. She has a CBD company that sponsors her. A lot of these athletes, and there's a lot of athletes across the world that are taking CBD and the benefits of it. I think NHRA, and this is what we're talking about, has to adapt to the time. This is what we're doing. This is in the direction that the world is going. So embrace it, because that could be our next major sponsor is one of these companies. Who knows? They love motorsports. They love the healthy and to be there for the customers and, for the people. I mean, these guys and girls are out on their feet all day, long days, on the road. So these could benefit us. So I don't think we should, block it off and say, no, this is the old ways and this is the way we're sticking to it. I think we should be open to the idea. That's just my opinion.
I agree. New money. Embrace it. Sam, shut us down.
Well, everybody, we tried. We had Alexis on. That was a great episode. Lee's yakking it up about everything with him. Go check out his show. Go smash that like button on his Facebook page and his share and subscribe to his YouTube channel. That is Monday Morning Racer. Please check him out. I'm Slammin Sam, Outlaw Performance ENT. Go and like my page, share everything. Wait a minute. Lee's not shutting me down.
Dale, can you hear us?
I'm going to smash all these phones. Oh my God.
Dale, we will have you on another time, man. Thank you for trying.
Okay.
Thank you for the hard work.
Really, really sorry. I have 1, 2, 3 laptops and 3 phones in front of me, and finally one of my daughter's laptops work. What a pain, man. I'm really sorry, guys. It would have been fun.
Hey,
another
no
time.
Problem.
Really sorry.
No problem.
Dale,
we'll have you on another time.
We'll catch up with you at the track in Vegas.
Yeah.
And I think we just lost him again, Lee.
I have. Sam, shut us down again.
Are you for sure this time, Lee?
I'm for sure this time.
All right, brother. Do I got to start all over? But anyway, guys, please check out our pages, Outlaw Performance ENT, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. And check out the Monday Morning Racer. Again, Competition Plus is the place where, 1, you need to get all your apparel. 2, Competition Plus is the place where you can believe what you read. Again, you can believe what you read to Bobby Bennett, to Lee, to Dale and Alexis, and to the jeweler, a.k.a. Mr. Jeff Arend. Thank you guys for all being a part of this great show, the Competition Plus Power Hour and a half. Till next week, where we are that much closer to 4-wide racing. Keep smashing that loud pedal because it does save lives. And I'm out. Peace.